You guys, Sean Ross Sapp here for the Matt Riddle BROCAST. Last week we left it open. This week it's back for registered members. If you were watching this a few days after, register for free at Fightful.com. Absolutely free, no credit card required. You get early access to shows like this and that Shane Helms podcast. This week we're talking about his feud with The Rock. Of course, we have people like Frank Trigg, Elias Theodorou, Shane Helms, Matt Riddle, Chipper himself on this podcast.
Chipper, as Rampage Jackson would say.
How long has it been since anybody called you Chipper?
Surprisingly, it'll come up, Ultimate Fighter talk comes up with me quite a bit. And the Chipper and people, they get it. I'm a happy guy. I'm pretty chipper, so.
Life is a lot better when you approach it with a happy demeanor, isn't it?
You do. It is. It just feels better, I think.
Some people just want to share their misery, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah. It depends on how you share it. If you're like a dark humor share, I like that.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I'm dying.
What?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. But if you're more sarcastic about it, make it easier for everybody else.
So this was a big weekend for Fightful, and you were a part of that.
Huge weekend.
Friday, you faced off with fellow Fightful.com contributor Jason Kincaid. What was that like?
It was different. It was unique, but I knew that going into it. He has a different style than me, of course. But like I've said before, I think when you wrestle a guy like that, the styles clash, and it was good. He did his crazy high-risk springboard kind of stuff, and I did my hard-hitting MMA kind of stuff, and it was a good mixture. But, I ended up getting the dub at the end, with the twister submission, and that's how it went down.
Now, he's a much smaller guy. How did he take to that hard-hitting style?
Don't make excuses for me beating him. Just because he's a smaller guy doesn't mean shit, bro. I won. But he took to it well, I hit hard, but there's different how thick I hit somebody, the depth that I hit somebody with. You can still get good noise without killing somebody. And then, I wrestled Michael Elgin and Brian Cage, and those guys are going to get hit really hard because you're 260 and you're jacked as hell. So it's but they want that. They want to get snug with it too. And I like that. So, and so I still hit hard, but there's different varying thicknesses and impacts,
Sure. Now, you're a top indie talent. You're a former UFC fighter. Do you ever have a problem with selling for somebody smaller?
No.
That's good to hear.
If the only thing is, it's I don't want to sell for somebody who's small and really terrible at wrestling.
Yeah.
But if they've been working for a while, they're good, and and they lay it on, then I'm okay with that. I mean, if you just hit me with a slap and you're and you're just rocked and you drop, I'll be like, well, that wouldn't happen. Yeah. But if you hit me with a couple drop kicks or a drop kick and you're a big guy, or you got to tell a realistic story. If you're 140 pounds, you're probably gonna have to hit me with a springboard drop kick or something big to knock me off my feet or really hurt me, right? But if you're 260 pounds, a fucking clothesline is gonna clean my clock.
Yeah, I know that you and Jason hadn't necessarily hung out a lot or anything like that prior to, despite you all both being involved. You'd mentioned that to me before. What was that like, really, the first time you worked with Jason?
It was good. He's very quiet, for sure. He's definitely not as, I would say, outspoken as myself. And I wouldn't even say he's not outspoken. I would say he's just very quiet, subtle.
He's a really cerebral guy. If anybody,
he's the modern day Jake the Snake.
Yeah, he in his writing, it's just amazing. His vocabulary is outstanding. And when he talked about his gimmick, people are like, "What's that gimmick?" And he said, "Basically a rollerball hellbilly." And I was like, "Damn, that's a pretty good description." Saturday night, Saturday. When did you fly? Was it right after the Friday show or Saturday morning?
Saturday morning, very early, but I wrestled AAW, then I flew the next morning, Saturday morning, to Sacramento, then Sacramento to LAX, and then wrestled at PWG.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about right now. Right now.
We're there. Now we're at PWG.
We're at PWG.
Pulled up into the parking lot.
Yes, we're here. You're walking into the parking lot. You've got a bunch of Chosen Bros shirts, which are phenomenal. By the way, phenomenal.
They're pretty lovely. They're lovely.
What was you're in there with 3 sirloin beef sons of bitches? We'll say now. By normal human standards, some I walk up to you on the street. You're much bigger than me. You're much thicker than me. Now you're going in there with these 3 hoss cats. What's that like?
Honestly, it's probably my favorite thing. I like to be in there with bigger guys like that, just because I know, I just feel like for me, I can get a little more, forceful with it, and especially guys like we were in there with like Jeff Cobb, who has a similar style to me, Michael Elgin, who's working in Japan all the time and has, pretty strong style, and Brian Cage, who does every move in the he hit a 619 at one point during the match. I personally love being in the ring with guys that big, and it's for me it's a lot of fun because then it's also an opportunity to test myself as well and show how strong I am for my size.
I just want to say you had Elgin's number this weekend, and we'll get to that. You all beat Michael Elgin and Brian Cage. When's his title shot coming, Matt?
I don't know. Me and Jeff Cobb are tagging up again against the Christ. I forget what they called, the Ohio Click or something like that. Yeah. So
I believe they run it Rockstar Pro up here.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So
who else are they going to dig up for you all to face? Though? Are they going to bring out B-Boy and Homicide or El Generico and Human Tornado? Do you know who Human Tornado is?
I don't.
You don't remember? Okay, Human Tornado. You got to look up his stuff. He was an early PWG guy. Do you remember Wrestling Society X on MTV?
Yes.
He was the wrestling pimp, the really skinny one with the afro.
Okay.
He was phenomenal. He was an early star of PWG. I'm a little pissy you all don't get this title shot right away.
You gotta wait for good things. I think this is what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna dominate the division as usual. It's me and Jeff Cobb. I don't really know who can actually beat that combo. Shoot or wrestle, whatever. It's that's it's a heavy helping, as a combo. And yeah, right now I think we're just going to beat everybody at PWG and beat everybody else wherever else we tag and probably win the belts if we, get the opportunity. You never know.
So, like I said, you're in there with 3 guys who can physically do about whatever they want to most people. How can you I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. What can you compare that strength, and who's the strongest man in that ring? Don't say yourself.
Definitely not myself. I would say it's hard. I would have to say Cage is pretty strong, but I would say probably Elgin is probably the strongest in the ring.
Is that pound for pound or total?
I don't know. You see, that's the thing. Jeff Cobb is ridiculously strong. Maybe he doesn't lift as much. I don't know what they lift. Maybe he lifts more. But I know Jeff Cobb can throw anybody with ease, from the ground up. So it's it's kind of hard.
I love seeing that type of stuff now. In American wrestling prominent, or at least from what I watched, 10, 15 years ago, you didn't see a lot of that deadlift stuff, and I really love that. Being a fan of MMA, sometimes if you're going to toss somebody, you got to deadlift them. And I love seeing that. And that's something a lot of these guys do.
Mm-hmm.
So after you all wiped the floor with Brian Cage and Michael Elgin, you flew back to Illinois.
I left that night. Well, and this is what happened. The ring broke after the first match with Trevor Lee and Cody Rhodes.
Let's talk about this. This is your fault, Matt. I figured you out.
Figured me out, and you're serious.
Yes.
What's up?
Your real gimmick isn't the bro thing. You're a fucking wizard, Matt.
I'm a wizard.
You're a psychological ninja wizard who hates using the ropes, who hates running the ropes. So every fucking show you go to, you use your psychological wizard powers to make sure the ring breaks. That way nobody can use the ropes.
You know,
I figured you out. 3 times in a month and a half, Matt.
I went, and it's always me. No. The thing is, I'm not breaking the ropes. It's other people.
You're doing it with your mind and making other people think that it's Chris Hero and that it's Cody Rhodes. That's what you're doing.
I can't say that I am or am not, but ropes are breaking. And this wasn't the ropes, though. The ropes were fine. Something broke underneath the ring. So they had to fix that. But because that broke, it pushed our match back a little longer. So basically right after our match, I got dressed. Me and X-Pac hung out a little bit, and then we had to drive. I didn't even have time to stay for intermission. We had to drive right to the airport, check out, fly right to Texas, then St. Louis. Took a shower in the airport in Texas.
Damn. So X-Pac did indeed get into PWG.
He did. Mr. Waltman got in.
He should.
He should.
He ain't Jerry O'Connell. He's way above that. Really enjoyed you on his podcast, by the way. I thought that was good stuff.
Oh, thanks. I enjoy you on our podcast.
You know what? I enjoy me on our podcast, too. I really do. So you traveling son of a bitch, you went from Illinois. Well, first off, you go from Pennsylvania to Illinois to L.A. or Sacramento to L.A. L.A. to I'm assuming Houston. You flew to Houston.
I think it was either Houston or Dallas or something.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Then you said St. Louis.
St. Louis. And
then what do you do there? You drive or you fly?
Then flew to Newark.
Wait, no, Newark. You wrestled in Illinois.
Yeah, but I wrestled in Illinois, and then I flew home, and I live right in between Philadelphia Airport, Newark Airport.
Well, we got to talk about Sunday first, Matt.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Hot damn. Sunday, lots of Fightful connections there as well. Of course, Matt was on the show. Trina, who has done our podcast several times on Mondays, she did the ring announcing. And Jason Kincaid had a great deal of success there as well. He won the Glory Pro Championship. Big weekend for him. There was a lot of Jason Kincaid talk on my timeline this weekend. That made me very happy. But you beat the man with the book. You beat Michael Elgin on his show. On his show, you showed up. You smacked the taste out of his mouth, Matt.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. That guy's a pretty burly dude.
He is. He is.
But yeah, we definitely tore it up. We tore it up at PWG. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very solid, good. It was really fun. And then the Chosen Bros, it was legit. And then at his show, we killed it. We just kept it going. Because honestly, I haven't really got to work anybody more than once. So it's now that I actually got to work him twice in one weekend, the second match was it was so easy, just because we already worked once and we already, we flew together, and it was a really good match, a lot of fun, hard-hitting stuff,
That was pretty cool. I mean, this is one of those weekends where, how do you physically feel on a Monday after these weekends where you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday dates? Not only that, There's a lot of travel going on here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You could have easily found a booking in Illinois on Saturday night, but PWG, that's something special. So
the PWG is definitely something extremely special. So you always got to make that booking, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they always have shows everywhere, but like certain shows mean something, and I think like even certain tournaments mean something, and I think that's what brings some legitimacy to the sport,
So 3 straight nights. You were a busy man. What's your weekend like this weekend?
Weekends like Evolve Friday in Maryland, Evolve Saturday in New York, and
Fightful.com has full live coverage of that, by the way, guys.
oh hey, live coverage, and then Beyond Wrestling on Sunday. I think Friday night I have Anthony Henry. Saturday night I have Drew Galloway. Finally get a piece of him.
Can't wait.
I know. Can't wait to slap the taste out of his mouth. That's what I'm going to do. Talking all that trash in his mini doc that Evolve.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know why.
When does your documentary drop?
It should. I thought it was dropping today. I mean, I pumped it again with a tweet earlier.
I'm going to check that out this evening then.
I know. I'm excited.
Also on those Evolve shows, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Keith Lee. That's going to be a real interesting match. Drew Galloway, Jeff Cobb Friday, Tracy Williams, ACH. Of course, Matt versus Anthony Henry. You got Darby Allin versus Austin Theory. Ethan Page against Fightful.com's Jason Kincaid. And then the Evolve Championship match, Timothy Thatcher versus Fred Hey-Hi.
Yeah.
Hey-Hi.
Big trouble.
Then Saturday, of course, Matt faces Drew Galloway. Ethan Page, Darby Allin. Darby Allin versus Ethan Page is one that's kind of been built up for a while. They really built that in San Antonio. ACH against Fightful.com's Jason Kincaid. Tracy Williams, Keith Lee. That's going to be another good one. Jeff Cobb in action. You have the winner of Thatcher Yehai against Zack Sabre. That's a damn good couple of days, Matt. Damn good couple of days.
That's how Evolve does it.
So over the course of about 8 days, you'll have 5 matches and a bunch of hoss cats, pretty much.
A hoss catch?
But bunch of hoss cats. Hoss cats.
What's hoss cats?
Hoss cats? Let's Google it. Let's put it in the Google machine.
Hoss cats?
Hoss cats.
HOSS cats, CATS.
You want to see what a hoss cat looks like?
And I have a bunch of hoss cats?
A bunch of hoss cats. You want to see what a hoss cat
yeah,
looks
show me what's a hoss cat.
Here's what a hoss cat looks like. You got a bunch of hoss cats in there. Look at that hoss cat.
A house cat.
A hoss cat, not a house cat. A hoss cat.
Is a hoss cat like a fat cat?
It's like a really stout cat. Nimble, athletic, but stout. Hoss cat. Well, let's look at Urban Dictionary. A term indigenous to the Southern Virginia region used to describe someone who is considered cock diesel.
That's all right. All right then.
Ah, damn. So you got a bunch of hoss cats you're facing. Oh, good times. So in wrestling MMA news, did you see the Braun Strowman Big Show match?
No, but people were raving about it. Did you see it?
It was phenomenal.
I want to now.
Big Show has Braun Strowman in an arm wringer, and Braun Strowman decides to roll through and then kip up. It was impressive.
I like it.
It was impressive.
I like it.
They went at each other. There were power slams, choke slams, KO punches. Man, these two, you can tell they had been working the loops together, the house show loops, and it really paid off. I thought it was kind of cool because, last year people were chanting at Big Show. They were chanting, please retire. And this year, they're chanting, "This is awesome," while these two guys are just facing off. That's kind of cool to see. Now, what I want to ask you, Matt, what the hell is that sitting next to you on your couch?
Oh, this bad boy?
Yeah.
This is the official Hacksaw Jim Duggan Hall of Fame 2011 Bro 2x4.
Now, I want to ask, how do you go about acquiring that? Did you go to like Home Depot?
What, for the wood?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they had it there.
No, for the couch, Matt. Yeah, for the wood.
I think
Did they
had
have
it
them for
there.
sale? And you were just like, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
And it does if you're there. Where was this at? Where'd you get this?
This was in Pennsylvania. My buddy I'll be completely honest. I've never met Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
What?
My buddy got me this 2x4. Because he did. My buddy set up an autograph signing with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And I was a big fan. He knew that, and he was also I worked with him doing an autograph signing myself for him. He's also set up seminars. His name's Brian Slater. He's a very nice man. But he got this one. He told me he was doing it with Hacksaw. I was like, bro, if you get a 2x4 signed, I'd be very stoked.
So who else is signed by? I see more signatures.
Oh,
than just
no.
one.
It says, good luck, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Hall of Fame 2011. How? I was thinking about changing that to bro.
Oh, nice. Our the website owner Jimmy Van actually booked Jim Duggan whenever he ran indie shows back in the day.
That sounds nice.
Back in the day. Interesting set of memorabilia. I still got the laser engraved Jeff Jarrett guitar. I got the Rey Mysterio mask signed that I'm going to give away.
Whoa.
I'm not a big signature guy, but I think somebody just gave that to me as like a gift.
That's a pretty sweet gift.
Yeah. And I gave one to my catch wrestling coach because he's a big Rey Mysterio fan. Because I got two of them. They gave me two of them, and I gave one to him. So I'm probably going to give this one away in a contest. Something like that.
I found my old wrestling action figures. And I found the vintage Jeff Jarrett when he had the ponytail and he wore the white singlet. He was wearing the Native American colors. The green, white, orange, and white. Yeah.
Well, let me show you, my friend. This sits on my desk. Brian Pillman.
Well, that's just legendary. That's a good one.
He's wearing the Bengals gear, and I'm a Bengals fan, so that's kind of cool. So he's a Cincinnati guy, so somewhat local to me. But yeah, I've got a Papa Shango around here too somewhere.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet, bro. So what else did you do this week other than watch Braun Strowman?
I went to Indianapolis.
Oh, travel.
Beautiful city. Yeah, very rare for me to do that, but I did. I love the city. I had a friend who was out there doing some performance stuff, doing some art stuff, and they actually drove all the way from Indianapolis for my wedding, having never met me in person. So we kind of returned the favor. I liked Indianapolis. You ever wrestled there?
No, I've driven through there.
Nice little place. Home. Nice little place. I want to get your opinion on something, Matt.
Shoot.
Because you have been, to say that you have always been this beloved by media and fans isn't the case. Am I right?
What do you mean?
You have been the butt of a few jokes due to marijuana tests and your exit from the UFC.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, I mean, you caught a lot of shit back in the day. And it's funny because I think that it had that firing happened a couple years later, the story would be much different. But Chris Cyborg was recently cleared of any wrongdoing by USADA. She tested positive in December for the substance. I won't get into the substance. It can be used as a masking agent, basically. USADA deemed that she used it for therapeutic purposes for in relation to a health issue that she had, and granted her a retroactive therapeutic use and exemption. She did not disclose this substance when she took her test. So they come there, they say, hey, you been taking anything? She goes, no. Well, then she gets popped. Then she gets her therapeutic use exemption. How do you feel about USADA doing that? Kind of going back a little bit. And I'll make sure for next week I have all the details. It's just this situation really popped up as we're filming this. We're filming this a day early, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
But here's the real thing I want your opinion on. She popped up on Twitter, and I go back and forth with her on Twitter all the time, or her handlers, whoever the hell's doing it. And it says, MMA Media, if you have a writer on your website staff who are targeting me and my team with bad press, don't ask me for any more interviews. Then she says, I will no longer be giving interviews to fake news sites who don't hold their staff accountable for nonsense opinion articles written as fact.
Mm.
This is in response to, I think, Ian Kidd of Bloody Elbow, who is a PED specialist. He's writing a weight cutting book. He's very learned on the situation. By all means, what the things that he writes about these weird retroactive TUEs aren't false. You got a lot of flack in the media from fans, and I'm sure you have a lot of those people asking to write stories about you now, asking to interview you now. How do you approach that as someone who has had that happen to them?
I don't know. I mean, it's...
Is it hard to forget that type of stuff?
I personally just buried it deep down inside, and I don't talk about it.
And never brought it up again.
I just don't bring it up. No, I mean, at this point, I don't know. They've done so many shitty things in MMA over the years where at one point they were just allowing every fighter to do whatever they wanted, any drug they wanted as long as they had a doctor's note, except for like weed. And then now they're like up to things for weed and they're drug testing harder, but then like they're going back on their drug testing saying, well, this is their excuse or this is the reasoning why. I mean, what are you going to do? It's like it's a real gray area. And once you kind of are flexible at one point, what else are you going to be flexible on? And at this point, it's like they can't make up their mind. And as you can see, it's just a big clusterfuck. It's always going to be this way until like there's one, and it's no, it's just never going to work. It's never going to work.
So, this is a woman who failed 2 drug tests. She was given a therapeutic use exemption for this one. And she's saying, if you run bad stories about me, don't ask me for interviews. How do you feel? Like I said, I mean, I'm the type of guy. I mean, Matt, if you went out and you punched a baby, I got to write about it. Even though you work for me, I got to write about it. You know.
Do I keep my job?
To be honest,
is this a real baby or is this like a work baby?
A real baby.
This isn't a work baby.
To be honest, a shoot baby.
It's a shoot baby. Oh yeah.
A shoot baby. I think Jimmy Van would keep you on because of the controversy it would cause. I really do.
Yeah, and you guys know me. If I punch a baby, it's for the
that baby probably had it coming.
It's for the right reasons. I rarely ever punch babies.
Rarely.
It's a very rare time. Like,
when was your last baby punching experience?
I don't think it's ever happened. I mean, I think I was punched as a baby.
Really?
I remember my parents told me I took a high back body drop as a baby.
No.
Yes.
How?
Well, my grandpa was holding me, and he like went like this, and I just went right over, like, you know, flipped over him and just took that first bump of my life.
Oh man. I've never liked taking those like as an adult, much less as a baby. And you probably had you couldn't understand the gravity, literally the gravity.
Well, I remember when I was like, what was it, 8 months? I remember like just tucking my chin and the bottoms of my feet landed flat and everything.
Oh God,
it was perfect, smooth.
Yeah, I went through. I feel like one day we need to have a Matt Riddle reads mean tweets thing, because when you started as a pro wrestler, a lot of people thought it was a joke, Matt.
Yeah, probably.
Here is one of the comments. Now, don't take these to heart.
Oh,
Matt Riddle is an utter doofus, so he will be great at this.
yeah.
How does that make you feel, Matt?
Well, I think there's different kind of people out there. That's the same person that probably says wrestling's fake, but then thinks like the transporter's fucking awesome. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's whatever. It's like that guy.
Isn't that weird? Like, I very much I respect Joe Rogan. I love his show, but for a guy who is on TV and has done TV shows and movies, stuff like that, he has this weird disdain for pro wrestling. And I'm just like, man, have you ever been to a play? You ever watched a movie? It's just the same thing. It's live.
You know what it is? And I'll say this straight out. And it's like, and I'm not trying to start shit, but it is true. It's like he's a fucking poser. It's like,
jeez,
he is. He didn't start smoking pot until he was like 30, but that's all he can fucking talk about. And he's fucking. He'll say whatever he has to say to get a paycheck. He's done it before, and I don't mean this mean, but it's true. It's like, and that's why he would be like, oh, well, pro wrestling's bullshit. It's like, well, Joe, why don't you get in the fucking ring with me and see how bullshit it is? Because you can get to the ropes or do whatever. I'll get to the ropes, and I guarantee I fucking fight you. It's just that, but that's pro wrestling to me. And I guess he probably doesn't like the show side of it. But then again, like, that's part of it, and look at what the UFC does today. Look at what Pride did. Look at what all MMA promotions are doing today. It's like they bring that, the promos in, the controversy in, the drama in, the behind the scenes, That's part of it,
Yeah, I would agree. He has admitted that, like, he often embellishes things on those UFC broadcasts, which from what I hear, the new regime seems to be against that type of thing. They want it to be more straightforward, more like a sport. But then they say allegedly they want it to be more like a sport, and they're letting top 10 UFC fighters walk out the fucking door every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kyoji Horiguchi just left, signed with Ryzen. Lorenz Larkin's about to sign with Bellator. Misha Serkinov and Nikita Krylov just hit the bricks. Like, it's weird, man. Like, when you got fired, Matt, that was an anomaly. When Gerald Harris got fired, that was an anomaly. And Gerald was maybe top 20, top 25. When John Madsen was let go, people were like, damn, they let him go? He was like maybe top 20, top 25. They're letting top 5, top 10 guys just stroll out the door.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're so willing to do that?
Because this is the thing they did. The UFC, and I said it before when I was there, it's like, and it's the reason why the Pride guys, when they came over, were so successful and still are, because the fighters were made. The fighters were built. Pride was just the house they lived in, while the UFC only promotes themselves. They don't promote their fighters. It's like they promote UFC 100, UFC 200,
They're trying to make the brand the draw, like WWE has.
The brand is the draw. But, like they only have like a couple of stars. Like, think about who most fans can list off the top of their head. Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. Like, who else?
Maybe Ronda Rousey.
Maybe a couple more. Anderson Silva there. Chuck Liddell there. But, like,
maybe John Jones, but probably for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, so, and same thing with like Rampage and others, but it's just like, that's just how it is, because they don't promote their athletes, they promote their product,
Speaking of, we have an interview with Rampage Jackson coming up very soon.
Oh, hey, Rampage Jackson, good man.
He is a good man. He's a fun dude to talk to as well.
Yes.
When's the last time you talked to Rampage Jackson?
It's been forever. I haven't talked to him in forever.
He was your coach, right, on The Ultimate
He
Fighter?
was my coach on The Ultimate Fighter.
Explain to me the tutelage of Rampage Jackson.
He taught me he taught me some life lessons. No.
Really?
No.
Don't joke about beating your kids on
He didn't tell me about that one. Definitely didn't.
It would have been a useful one.
Would have been a good one. No. He told me a sweet guillotine defense.
Nice.
And that was about it. He told me some like good stand-up drills to stand up and do stuff like that. But yeah, he was yeah, I'm not, he wasn't the greatest like hands-on kind of coach. Like he had Zach Light there and Juanito.
Oh, Juanito Ibarra. Okay, so what was Juanito like to work with? Because he was kind of like a lightning rod of controversy soon after that.
I loved Juanito. He was a great coach. He had a lot going on. Like his one, like for camp wise, I felt like he had a lot of tools. But at the same time, I don't know. Everybody has.
Rampage was never really the same after he split with Juanito.
Yeah, I mean.
And I know that there was a lot of issues regarding money, and then actually Juanito would go and win a settlement over, I think, Rampage and Tito Ortiz for like defaming him and saying some things that maybe cost him a lot of money himself. But I mean, Rampage right now is on a 5-fight win streak, but it's over like Satoshi Ishii and Fabio Maldonado and Joey Beltran. He had a win over King Mo, but really, after.
Why was this a win? What happened?
It was I don't want to say anybody was robbed because in order to be robbed of a fight, that would imply that something actually happened in the game.
Okay. So they just showed up and got a check and sweated by each other.
Like Andrei Arlovsky versus Brendan Schaub. Like you're not going to tell me anybody got robbed in that fight because nothing fucking happened in that fight. Like nothing, the fight did not exist in that situation.
I hear you.
Also, I found it interesting that by and large, Team Rampage lost their asses on that show because I thought you all had the better team.
We did have the better team. I don't think we trained the best.
I'm shocked with Rampage as a coach. No way.
Yeah, I think that was it. And not just that, we gave them the first. Like he picked first, but then they got the first pick, the first fight choice. Or no, maybe we even got the first fight choice, but like the matchup was a poor matchup. Like, why would you pick that matchup? But I think we gave them. I think they picked it and they made the matchup because they put JT against Mike Dolce. He got choked. Then I fought Tim Credor, and even though it was a close fight, it was like Tim's like. I was 21, 22 at the time. Tim was like 32 and had like 15 pro fights under his belt. I had one amateur fight under my belt.
Yeah. If you look at the next season, Ryan Bader's still doing it at a high level. Vinny Magalhaes kind of fell out of the UFC. Tom Lawler, unfortunately, suspended.
Why is he suspended?
USADA deal.
What's a USADA deal?
He failed a drug test.
Oh, just for like weed or something?
No, I don't think it was weed. I don't think they released the substance.
Oh.
But so on your season, CB Dollaway's still doing it. You could probably still be doing it. Gerald Harris still doing it. He tore his. Did I tell you what happened to Gerald? Oh man.
Wasn't he supposed to fight or something?
He fought. He did his comeback fight after 3 years being retired. Keep in mind, when he was in World Series of Fighting, they promised him.
Why are you making it like, why are you telling a Cinderella story?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, man. He was in World Series of Fighting. He was promised Rusamal Parharas. They pulled that fight and then wouldn't give him a fight. So he just retired. He comes back after 3 years, and the guy that he's facing, Matt, misses weight by 50 pounds.
I heard that's outrageous.
Okay. So he slams the guy, knocks him out, kills him. The UFC's finally going to give him his chance, right? He's going to be back on The Ultimate Fighter. He tears his Achilles. He's out for like a year.
No, not his Achilles.
Yep, his Achilles. And he's 37 years old. That's not good. That
yeah,
sucked.
but he probably
How about that
caught.
Cinderella story, Matt?
But he probably caught it
Poor
right
guy.
away. If the UFC, maybe the UFC will help him with the
I hope
medical
so.
bills.
He was supposed to fly out and talk to them and tore his Achilles. That's
Oh,
heartbreaking, man.
if he didn't even have the talk,
Yeah.
you should have wrapped that shit up.
Oh man, it's a bummer, but yeah,
I'm sorry. That's horrible.
it is horrible. See,
That's horrible. That's horrible. Why'd you ruin?
a tough 7 curse, I think.
I don't think it's a curse. Like Matt
think it's a
Brown's
curse.
not doing horrible.
Yeah, he's doing pretty fucking bad, Matt.
How is he doing bad now?
He's lost like 1 billion fights in a row.
Yeah.
Let me look.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, he's lost 5. He's lost 5 of his last 6 fights.
I'm doing fantastic.
You're doing pretty good. You're doing okay.
So
Not to put a damper on things, but you're doing all
yeah,
right.
I'm doing fine. I think they're all doing fine. I saw Matt Brown with his kids. He's doing fine. He has a Harley.
I think Dan Kramer's in Bellator now.
Dan Kramer's been in Bellator for like 8 years.
Yeah, he has. He just hasn't fought in like 2 years. That's what it is.
That and like he's made it to like the semifinals of like every Bellator middleweight tournament.
No, they ain't doing those anymore.
Yeah.
You were signed for a Bellator tournament once.
Yeah, and I cracked my rib and I asked for I literally like it was like 2 weeks out. I go, can I have like a 2-week extension? You're having a card that day? And I go, you're doing it for Joe Warren because he had like some brain issue. I'm like, I literally have a cracked rib. Just give me 2 more weeks. I'll fight then. And then, because I'm not going to be good to fight in 2 weeks. So like, I can't train like for 2 weeks at least, And they were like, no, you're not getting a fight, this, that, and the other thing. So.
Huh. Did Bellator like purchase your contract from somebody? You had signed with Legacy, right?
With Legacy.
So did you have any say in that whatsoever?
Yes and no. Like I was like, yeah, I would like to work with Bellator. And then like, and I talked to the guys at Bellator. I was like, yeah, if you guys want to do that, I wouldn't mind. And they did it. But then like, like negotiating the contract was a little iffy, Like, I think everybody's had a problem with Bellator when negotiating the contract. I don't think I was the first one. I don't know how it is now. But I remember, Legacy FC not being able to pay what they promised me and had me written down on paper for. And, of course, they were just like, I don't know what they thought. They just thought it was okay. And then, of course, they sold my contract to Bellator. And then Bellator wanted to renegotiate. And I was like, no, like, you just bought my contract. And, of course, eventually, I legally can't talk about this part of it. But, yeah. So that's basically.
Will you ever be legally able to talk about that part of it?
I don't know. Maybe if Bellator's gone, and then I can be like, yeah. Or I don't know.
I always wondered because I know that you have mentioned that on several occasions that you're legally you're unable to speak about some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see what, or did you hear what The Rock did at Raw this week? By the way,
no, I didn't. What did he do?
So he's there filming this movie. They're doing a movie about Paige's life, but he didn't appear on Raw. He appeared before and after. He gets out there, and in front of the crowd, he calls CM Punk on the phone. And Triple H and Vince McMahon are livid, like legit livid, not happy about it. I think it's all in good fun. Where's the harm?
I don't know. I mean, I personally don't see the harm in it. But then again, if you allow somebody to be behind the scenes part of it, you know how wrestling is, and then you do some shit like that, like that's not cool. So especially if it's going to rub somebody the wrong way. And I feel like Triple H and Vince McMahon, like that would rub them the wrong way. Like
it certainly did.
Just thinking about it, like, hey, who could I call if I was going to do this? And that'd be like probably the last person.
CM Punk says he didn't answer because he was walking his dog and it was his dog's birthday.
And that's his,
sounds like a good reason.
And that's his answer. And that's his answer.
And he
That's
thanked.
why
He
I
said it was.
think, honestly, I have no words. I have no words for that guy.
He said that
His UFC performance and then him walking his dog on his birthday, I have no words for him.
What's wrong with walking his dog? You mad because you don't have a dog to walk on his
I'm
birthday,
a little
Matt?
bit. I am a little
What
bitter.
it is.
I am a little bitter that somebody found my dog, claimed it as his, and I can't get it back. Yeah, I am. And then this guy's not going to pick up a telephone call from The Rock because he's walking his dog.
Well, maybe he's appreciating every minute he has with his dog because he watches our podcast and saw what happened to you and doesn't want it to happen. I bet that's exactly what
probably, yeah, maybe. He should appreciate the 45 seconds of UFC time he has.
To be fair, it was like 2 minutes.
Minute 45?
I think it was 2 minutes.
2 minutes and 15 seconds. I feel like there was an interval of 45 in there. So 40.
So you still don't have your dog back?
No, they're not. I'm not getting it back, man. They're not gonna give it back to me. There's like you need to have a fence around your yard that's at least 6 feet tall.
What?
That's one of the requirements. Because
are you trying to keep immigrants out? What is that? 6 feet tall?
Dude, because of his athletic background, because he's like a husky.
Oh my God,
dude! It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like it would probably be the same if I wanted to like get a German Shepherd. And I was like, oh, can I adopt that? It's like, do you have a wall around your house that's 6 feet tall at least? And even then, a German Shepherd can hop that.
God, they're trying to like not have any sunlight shine on your house. 6 foot wall.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, no, but I'll keep them inside, take them for runs, and if I have to, I'll, like walk them around the yard or the property. But like, I live in Pennsylvania. Like, I live by a cornfield. I like the guy knows where I live. He came to my house. Like, he knows like, and I have I have 3 floors, like a basement, first floor, second floor. So it's like pretty ridiculous.
There has to be something legally you can do. Has to be.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It just seems like it's a messy situation. Like, they had my dog, and I mean, we called the police, we called everybody, and we couldn't find him for like a good month or two. And then we stopped looking because it's like, haven't heard, somebody probably just took him. That's what we figured.
Yeah. Sure.
Which somebody did. It just so happens like they also like get other rescues, and they're like, well, you didn't find our rescue for like North American or northern breed dogs or something. Yeah. So I don't want to get into it. It's a hard topic.
Guys, I think you all should probably go to kingofbros.com, buy a bunch of bro merchandise. And then Matt can get it. Matt can get the 6 foot white picket fence he's always dreamed of.
Oh yeah, I probably not. Probably not. I'm good. I wish I had my dog back, but it happened.
Just line up Cobb and Cage and Michael Elgin out there. That'll serve as a wall.
The thing is, my dog's pretty good. Like they said, they found him like right down the street. Like, he never ventures far. Like, we usually find him, but they must have like found him right away and they took him.
Yeah.
Not going to get into it.
That's almost outright robbery.
And I kind of said that when the guy came here. I was like, and he's like saying things. I'm like, you kind of just like took our dog.
Took it.
You took our dog and then like said you rescued it. And then we finally see our dog because we recognize our dog because it's our dog we've had since a puppy. And then you're like, no, it's like, we can't give it back to you because you don't have a fence. And that was basically the biggest reason. You don't have a fence, and you didn't look long enough.
Imagine your kid is outside playing frisbee, crosses the road to get a frisbee, and somebody drives up and says, "Wow, this kid, we got to take it to a foster home right now."
Northern breed kids foster home, not even the normal foster home.
Jesus, Matt. Anything else to tell these people before we go?
Come out to the shows, come out to Maryland, come out to New York City, come out to Boston or Providence. I'm not sure where it is necessarily in the New England.
Is that Sunday?
Yeah, that's Sunday Beyond.
Ooh, nice.
I'm wrestling Donovan Dijak.
Oh, nice.
And Mikey Webb. It's Bro Steel. Me and Chuck O'Neal. I'm doing some tag work. I feel like 2016 was all singles. 2017, I'm venturing into that tag territory.
I like it. I like
Got to diversify. I got to be able to do everything, you know.
You're branching out. Guys, visit Fightful.com. All your news, wrestling, MMA related, boxing related. We got results, exclusive interviews, podcasts, videos, photos, really anything you can ask for in a pro wrestling MMA website. Register absolutely free. No credit card or anything like that required to get early access to shows like this and the Shane Helms show. It's a good time.
It is. I mean, I just hang out with my Hacksaw Jim Duggan 2x4 or my championship belt. That's actually upstairs right now.
Are you going to do an Old Glory knee drop this weekend at Evolve?
An Old Glory? No. I don't.
3-point stance into the clothesline?
No, I can't do that.
Why not?
That's just
do a fucking tombstone.
That's just but I don't do it like I don't like and do a tombstone. All right, I fucking do it like I would do a tombstone. I fucking tilt-a-whirl your ass and jump with that shit like a man.
One day you'll be good. One day you'll be good enough in the ring to hit an impaler. But guys, that's all the time we have for today.
I should hit an impaler into a guillotine, like pick him up like that, and then just hop up, take like a back bump, like it hurt them more than me.
Sure.
Do
You drive somebody's skull into the mat at an angle. Yeah, it'll hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's true. I've knocked somebody out like that once, maybe twice.
Guys, we are out.